All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever wondered what it's actually like inside the mind of a fully enlightened being? Well, today, we're going to explore the Anupadasutta. It's this incredible discourse where the Buddha himself basically pulls back the curtain on the mind of his absolute wisest disciple.
Now, you have to understand, these are not just some nice words. This is the Buddha, the enlightened one, giving this almost unbelievable list of praises for his chief disciple, Sāriputta. He's not just being polite. He is essentially saying Sāriputta's wisdom was on another level. It was vast, it was quick, it was joyful, and it was sharp enough to slice right through any illusion.
So, that leads to the big question, right? How on earth did he get there? I mean, was he just born a genius, or was there a specific method, maybe a secret technique that unlocked this incredible potential of the human mind?
Well, the answer lies with this man, Sāriputta. And lucky for us, the Buddha didn't just praise him and leave it at that. Nope, he explained exactly how Sāriputta achieved this incredible state of mastery.
Get this, for 2 solid weeks, Sāriputta engaged in this unique and incredibly powerful form of meditation, and the Buddha thought it was so important that he laid it all out for his other students, which means he gave us a direct map of this profound inner journey.
So, what was this practice? It has a specific name, and its method is, it's kind of simple in concept, but unbelievably profound when you actually apply it. It's called Anupada Dhammavipassana. Okay, let's break that down because it's a mouthful. Anupada means one after another or step by step. Dhamma, in this context, refers to mental phenomena, the actual building blocks of your experience. And vipassana is insight. So, put it all together, and you get the practice of gaining insight by looking at the mind's contents sequentially, piece by piece.
So the core method is like this repeating 3-step dance. First, Sāriputta would go deep into a state of meditation. Step 2, he would mindfully come out of it, just enough to analyze what it was made of. And 3, he would watch how all those mental parts arise and then just pass away. He saw their impermanent nature and, because of that, could detach from them. And he would just repeat this, over and over, climbing higher and higher each time.
And that climb took him right up through the meditative states we know as the jhanas. These are progressively deeper levels of concentration and mental stillness. So let's follow his path, step by step.
Okay, the journey kicks off with the first jhāna. This is a state you get to by temporarily shutting the door on sensual desires and unhelpful thoughts. But it's not empty in there. It's actually filled with some very distinct, very clear mental qualities.
So after emerging from this state, Sāriputta looked back and saw 5 key things going on. Vitakka, which is like the initial spark of a thought. Vikāra, the sustained examination of that thought. Piti, which is this powerful, energetic feeling of rapture or zest. Sukha, a deep, calmer pleasure. And Chitta-Ékagrata, a stable, one-pointed focus. He saw each one of these pop up, and he saw each one fade away.
Then, in the second jhana, the mind gets even quieter, more refined. Those active mental processes of initial thinking and examining, they just fall away. They're gone. And now, the rapture and pleasure aren't born from just being secluded. They're born from the sheer power of concentration itself. The mind is literally generating its own profound joy, totally independent of any outside thought.
Now, as he moved into the third jhana, another huge shift happened. That energetic excitement of rapture, the piti, it fades away. And this is a really crucial sign of progress. It's like going from the wild thrill of a roller coaster to the deep, unshakable peace of a calm ocean. The mind is maturing, and it's swapping out that bubbly joy for a much more stable, profound sense of equanimity.
The old texts have this beautiful way of describing this state. You become equanimous, totally balanced, you can't be shaken, all while staying perfectly mindful and aware of what's happening. The mind is just calm, clear, and deeply content.
The journey reaches a really important peak in the 4th jhana. Here, even that subtle, calm feeling of pleasure is let go of. And what's left? A state of pure, pristine equanimity and mindfulness, completely beyond the push and pull of pleasure and pain. This is the absolute summit of meditations based on form. But believe it or not, Sāriputta didn't stop there.
From that peak, he pushed his practice into what are called the formless dimensions, the immaterial attainments. Now, the object of his meditation is no longer a physical feeling, but a boundless, abstract concept itself.
And again, he systematically entered and analyzed each one of these states. First, he would focus on the idea of infinite space, Then he transcended that to focus on infinite consciousness. Then he moved beyond even that to the sphere of just nothingness. And finally, he reached a state so incredibly subtle it can only be described as neither perception nor non-perception.
Right at the very top of this incredible mental climb, Sāriputta reached the ultimate attainable state, one that very, very few people in all of history have ever experienced.
This state is known as Sanya-Veda-Daya-Tani-Rodham, the complete temporary stopping of all perception and all feeling. It's a state where the mind's processing just utterly ceases. It is the most profound silence the mind can possibly know.
And then, upon emerging from that absolute stillness, the final insight dawned on him. With his wisdom sharpened to a razor's edge by this whole practice, he saw that all the deep-seated mental taints, things like greed, hatred, and ignorance, were completely and totally destroyed. He knew with unshakable certainty that liberation was complete. There was nowhere else to go.
And this total mastery is exactly why the Buddha held him in such incredibly high regard, giving him titles that went way beyond simple praise.
The Buddha declared that Sāriputta was his true son, but born not of flesh and blood, but born from the teaching itself. He called him the rightful heir to the Dhamma, someone capable of turning the wheel of the teaching, just as the Buddha himself did. I mean, this is the highest possible endorsement you could get. In the Buddha's eyes, Sāriputta wasn't just a great student, he was a true successor who had fully realized the very heart of the teaching.
Sāriputta's journey is just this extraordinary map of the mind's potential, a real testament to the power of systematic self-inquiry. And it leaves us with a pretty profound question to ponder, doesn't it? What hidden depths, what incredible potentials are just waiting to be discovered inside our own minds if only we take the time to look?